Concerned about AI? You're concerned about recent weather anomalies? Then you're in the right place. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Around the Web, where we watch creepy, strange, and mysterious videos from all over the web that'll definitely get you questioning everything. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the team, and let's try to crack some of these mysteries together. Also, thanks for all the love and support you guys have been showing on all the videos. I'm going to continue to make these as long as you guys continue to show up and vibe out with me. I kind of like doing them anyway, so I don't really mind. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoy the video. Episode 4.
That there's interdimensional potential. Could you expound on that?
Multidimensionality, that kind of thing. The framework that I'm familiar with, for example, is something called the holographic principle. It derives itself from general relativity and quantum mechanics, and that is, if you want to imagine a 3D object such as yourself casting a shadow onto a 2D surface, that's the holographic principle. So you can be projected, quasi-projected from higher dimensional space.
Wow.
So it's a scientific trope that you can actually cross, literally, as far as I understand, but there's probably guys with PhDs that we could probably argue about that.
If this stuff ever comes out, truly comes out, I think it is going to be transformative, and the whole entire world is going to be changed instantly. If not that day, if not that month, the world's going to be changed. Let's keep going. Video captures the moment a BJ's Wholesale Club roof collapsed during a rainstorm. Whoa! I don't think we're ready for what Mother Nature has in store for us, especially if our roofs are already collapsing and it's just the beginning. We're in for a treat.
Okay, this is an example of many. You've probably seen some of these already. The craft is spinning.
I haven't seen this one yet.
It looks like an amateur video, and right about now you're going to see
Bulgaria, UFO sighting.
The important part is that this introduces a concept, and that is inertial mass and gravitational mass are totally different. Einstein made a mistake years ago and called it the equivalence principle. I studied it even in grad school. It's fascinating to me that it's sort of overlooked. And the important part is that inertia has been discovered to be a zero-point field Lorentz force.
For those of you that are good at math, what are all those numbers and letters right there? What equation is that? Like, those people are either extremely smart or they're just throwing stuff together.
Each weather and put off. This is a seminal paper that's so important that it opens the door to actually controlling inertia and understanding how any ET craft or UFOs could possibly have fast acceleration, right angle turns, and maybe even travel through the universe. It turns out F equals V cross B, a simple Lorentz force at the bottom of the slide there showing how it worked.
So I want to talk about this radar anomaly that was seen in Alabama on June 25th.
Okay, Alabama.
Because I don't want to offend meteorologists. I already have said this is because the radar was switched off, and when it came on again, it was reflecting whatever it was bouncing off of, like birds, moisture, bugs. And that's it, case closed. But the thing is, here's where I'm struggling. The weather seemed to be pretty normal, nothing outlandish. And this number right here, 94 dBz, this is like mega hail and tornado kind of situation. So what was it reflecting off of that would actually cause such a high reading? It doesn't make sense, and I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but what I noticed when I slowed down the footage is this strange X shape. So it's more than just a radar bloom. We have this X here. Now, nature certainly doesn't make shapes like this.
Beam spike effect is a classic artifact if something reflects pulses back oddly. Some suspect this can happen with certain electromagnetic interference or high-altitude atmospheric tests.
We have also had kind of a weird week because just a few days ago I posted how the doomsday plane, that is the plane for continuity of government if something really bad happens, was making its way to Washington, D.C. And the very next day we had another radar anomaly, and coincidentally a major new microwave weapon had been delivered to Dahlgren over here, a naval base that specializes in advanced energy weapons. By the way, there's some military bases not far from where our Alabama radar anomaly happened. My guess, some exercises are going on that the general public isn't supposed to know about. It's just my theory, which I'm sure is ridiculous. So don't listen to me. Don't listen to her.
The government is in control of some of the most amazing technology, and they're using it for weapons. Do you think that the government should use it for weapons, or do you think the government should use it to enhance our lives with free gas, free energy, free everything?
We're not about to act like this shit is normal. Yesterday, New York City, 103 degrees outside. It literally felt like people were in a furnace. And then out of nowhere, it's like we had a lightning storm. Lightning striking, knocking down trees. But the crazy part is what happened in Coney Island. When you ever seen Coney Island look like this?
That is crazy, guys.
You got videos circulating where people were on Coney Island Beach and they got hit with something that looked like a tornado. Winds that was out of control. People falling. Their belongings getting blown all over the beach. People on that beach fearing that they was going to lose their...
I bet the guys that do the metal detectors are going to have a field day after an event like that.
And no weather advisor said anything about the weather being like that yesterday. Look at this shit. This is the beginning of it. Look at all that sand right there. Now they're saying that this was a sandstorm. What does this look like to you? This is the view from up top. Listen to how that wind is blowing. But that's not it. Look at this. Tell me this is normal. Look at this shit. Mind you, they're saying that yesterday was just the beginning. That we have to brace ourselves for much more weather like this. They're doing something.
Mother Nature is not happy at all.
What is the mystery here?
The building of the Great Pyramid was knowledge that was not supposed to have existed 4,500 years ago. The Great Pyramid of Giza. Approximate date around 2,500 BC, something like that. First of all, it's mysterious for the sheer size of it. Look, so you've got roughly 750 feet along each side. They vary in length by only fractions of an inch. If you get it wrong, you're going to end up with a corkscrew rather than a pyramid. If you get it wrong at the bottom, those errors are going to magnify and they're going to get worse and worse, and it's not going to be a pyramid at the end of the day. Secondly, weight calculated at about 6 million tons, more than 2 million individual blocks of stone. Then there's the almost perfect alignment of the Great Pyramid to true north. The Great Pyramid is aligned within 3/60ths of a single degree, and they've done that on a 6 million ton monument which is 481 feet high, which has a 52-degree slope filled with internal corridors and spaces. It sits almost exactly on latitude 30, which is 1/3 of the way between the North Pole and the equator. It incorporates the dimensions of the Earth on a scale of 1 to 43,200. If you take the height of the Great Pyramid and multiply it by 43,200, you get the polar radius of the Earth. Measure the base perimeter of the Great Pyramid, multiply it by the same factor, 43,200, you get the equatorial circumference of the Earth. All of this is extremely difficult to do. It's not impossible to do. Could our civilization do it? Yeah, I think we could. It's inconceivable that slaves were involved in this. This is a work of love from the first to the last stone. It's a beautiful and extraordinary thing, both inside and out.
I've been to the Great Pyramid just to get the vibes and just to get the energy from there. And I'll tell you guys right now, masterful work of art. So if you guys ever get the chance, check it out.
What does that imply or suggest?
What it suggests is that incorporated into the building of the Great Pyramid was knowledge that was not supposed to have existed 4,500 years ago.
How could they possibly know the circumference of the Earth 4,500 years ago?
I don't think the Egyptians knew it. I think it came down. I think it was inherited knowledge from a major forgotten episode in the human story.
They found an SOS on this random island.
Ho, ho, ho! Might not immediately notice what you're supposed to be looking at in this video, and if that's the case, right here, SOS. This is another Google Earth video that I got tagged in where this person zooms in on a small island in the Indian Ocean, and when we zoom all the way in, we can clearly see SOS written out, which, historically speaking, is not a good sign. For those that don't know, SOS is a universal way for people to convey that they're in trouble. It stands for Save Our Souls, and a lot of people relate it to getting stranded on desert islands. Very, very cliche. That doesn't necessarily have to be the case, though. People have written similar things in the desert when they're stranded. So going back to this video that I got tagged in, SOS here, is it actually something of concern? My guess is probably not. The region in which that island is located is connected to a bunch of areas that have plenty of residents, so it would be pretty much impossible to be stranded on that island. So I would be more inclined to believe that this was set up here possibly for entertainment or as a prank. And by the way, there are tons of SOS signs that you can find on Google. That one is not the only one.
Watch your bitch.
The bitch gets restless. Calm the bitch down.
Sometimes a bitch will come earlier, sometimes a few days later.
So a fat bitch doesn't have good muscle contractions. And
By now you should know your bitch is pregnant.
the bitch should be examined to make sure that all the nipples are okay.
Milk helps aid the bitch.
Scissor and milk the bitch.
Determine what is normal for your bitch.
And you can do that. And these bitches often will need help
I do put my bitches on raspberry tea.
because
Are you guys responsible dog owners? Let me know in the comments. That's scary. Right now we're watching people get ready to lose their jobs. I give it another year or so, and they're gonna be moving just like humans would. How do you guys feel about the new AI robots? And are you prepared to potentially lose your job? Scary, guys.
Everybody is at the Michael Rubin party. This year they had a special guest. Shut up! They invited Palm Beach Pete. You know the Kardashians had a show up and show out. Just another day in HW. Snoop Dogg, Travis Scott, Martha Stewart, and of course Michael Rubin. H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. You see it. And guess who's in the back? Tom Brady! I don't even think that's Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne is there. Wow, they got Iron Mike there. I knew it. Of course, Little Baby had to come. People are saying that Michael Rubin gave him another drunken hug. Shut up! It's not a game. And you see Quavo and Travis Scott again. And of course, after you win the NBA championship, you have to go to the Michael Rubin party. Can't forget about Cardi B. You know she had to show up, all white, everything. There's a lot of people at this Michael Rubin party. Sports players, actors, singers, rappers, everybody. Not sure why they didn't take pictures with him. I didn't see any. Maybe there's some, maybe there's not, but he said that he was there. Not just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. Michael Rubin party was turned up. All the celebrities showed up. They showed out. They did their thing.
Let me know in the comments, would you guys actually go to one of these parties? Because I might just pop up. I might just pop up.
Could you feel it inside you? What did it feel like?
Whoa, let's keep watching. I don't know.
It was always painful. I always had to wear my socks below the incision point because it was painful.
In 1991, Jesse had the foreign object removed from his leg.
There it is.
This is actual footage of that procedure.
This is good happen.
This is the object that was in my leg. And unfortunately, during the initial test that was done on it, it was broken into two pieces. But that allowed us to look at the inside.
Some have dismissed the object as simply a shard of glass. But when it was analyzed at Southwest Research Institute, a materials analysis facility in Texas, the conclusion suggested a greater mystery. According to the lab's report, the object revealed a very remarkable composition and exhibited unique surface characteristics that cannot be explained, and that the questions outnumber the answers.
What do you guys think? Real alien implant or complete hoax? Let me know in the comments.
What the flock is going on in Arizona? And why do I say that? Because a man
Fake
walking
cactuses?
in the desert in Arizona came across a fake cactus. You heard what I said, a fake cactus. And upon taking a closer look, you'll be shocked to see what he found. Have a look at this video for yourself. Listen.
Sometimes it's hard to tell if this is a real cactus or not, but it's definitely fake.
Look at that.
Look at that.
What?
Unbelievable. Have a look at it for yourself. What do you see inside that cactus? Cameras. This is all happening in Paradise Valley, Arizona. And the claim is that they're allegedly hiding flock cameras inside of fake cactuses to read license plates. And the name? Cacti Cameras. Have one more look at the video to see if you noticed the cameras the first time.
Sometimes
have a look
it's
for
hard to
yourself.
tell if this
Would
is a
you
real
have
cactus
noticed
or not,
this
but
like he did?
it's definitely fake. Look at that.
So I guess my question to you is Arizona now officially a surveillance state?
Is this true?
I'm here to answer any questions, concerns.
What is this?
That's your finger. And please don't ask me to smell it.
You know what?
So this is an email, Howard Lutnick to Jeffrey Epstein. Hi, Jeff. We are landing in St. Thomas early Saturday afternoon and planning to head over to St. Bart's/Anguilla on Monday at some point. Where are you located? As in, what is the exact location for my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? I have another couple, Michael and Mary Lerman, with me on my boat, and each of us has 4 children. Doesn't list their names. 2 16s, 2 14s, a 13, a 12, an 11, and a 7-year-old. I remind you, this is 4 years after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted. How this guy has a job today is a disgrace.
That is...
There is no room
That's disgusting.
for nuance here.
No, that is disgusting.
Fired! Fired! I'm done with these fucking...
I'm right there with them. How is Howard Lutnick in the government still? Guys, do your research on who he is. He's still fully active. America, we need to change.
Never forget, the world's richest man said this about AI.
But I think we're really going to have to either merge with AI or be left behind. The least scary future I can think of is one where we have at least democratized AI. Because if one company or small group of people manages to develop godlike digital superintelligence, they could take over the world. At least when there's an evil dictator, that human is going to die. But for an AI, there would be no death. It would live forever. And then you'd have an immortal dictator from which we can...
Now that is scary. What do you guys think about AI? Are we ready to implement it into our government? Are we ready to have an AI president? I don't think I want that.
Lab-grown meat is now federally approved, and as a qualified doctor, I'm worried. I'm talking USDA approved, FDA approved, and cleared for US grocery shelves, backed by billions of investors like Bill Gates. This meat is stem cells from a live animal dropped in a steel tank and fed nutrients. These genes are then edited to immortalize them, dividing essentially endlessly until weeks later it's sold as meat. As of right now, 7 states have already banned it: Florida, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, and Indiana. Avoid any label that says cell cultivated, cell cultured, or cell based.
Are you guys eating lab-grown meat? Like, what is going on in the world? And watch out for Tyson products.
Thing you would eat before you say that. We've got a little clip here. Uh-oh. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
When you can get David Chang to be speechless,
Weird guy.
Speechless. No, it's like, as soon as I said that too, I was like, this isn't gonna go over well. Would you really eat human? I mean, what body part would you eat? Haven't you been to that bodies exhibit down on right? Have you been there?
I've been there.
I feel like we've eaten everything. Like everything has been eaten in fine dining. What's the one thing that hasn't been served?
But what body
human.
part would you eat? Like, I feel like I'd eat some, like
I would give you,
probably
if
the
I
belly.
were to pass away naturally, I would give you a piece of my arm.
It doesn't look meaty enough. Yeah, no.
Chicken thigh? A thigh?
Hey, you know what they say? Tastes just like chicken.
Are you guys eating human? Because that seems disgusting. Can't bring myself to do that. How about you guys? Are you guys eating human? If you knew where it came from. Mount Shasta solar speaker anomaly investigation continues. Let's go.
Boys and girls, we are going back and we're going to get to the bottom of this. Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, shit.
What's that? What is going on Mount Shasta, guys?
You are the representative of God for our spiritual elevation. We humbly worship, praise, thank, obey, and love God Almighty, the Most High, the greatest, for world vegan, world peace, and our soul liberation. We thank, love, praise the only Son of God, who is the ultimate master.
There's some weird stuff going on. If you guys have any idea or any clue what these things are or why they were placed there, please let me know in the comments, because this is creepy. We need to get to the bottom of this, guys.
Ray J did say he was going through something, but I guess he got better. Shut up! Why would Drewski say that during the awards? Ray J didn't like it. Ray J didn't like that because it's kind of strange for him to say something like that. They thought he was gonna what? Don't wish that upon nobody. Ray J is alive and well. Drewski's funny, he's a comedian, but sometimes there's certain things you shouldn't play about. And he played about it. And if you notice, a lot of people didn't laugh like that. I hope Ray J is here to stay. Maybe he got better. Maybe he was trolling when he told us that. But something's going on at this award show that I know nothing about. Because I'm home right now, guys. I wasn't there. You think I'm going to go there? Shut up! I would never go there. I just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. You know I would love to go there. The BET Awards, they were turning up. Everything was good. Drewski's funny. I don't know why they said that to Ray J, but that's not cool. But hey, Ray J is here and he's here to stay. Can't believe everything you hear. Can't believe everything you see. These dudes are actors. Let's not forget that. I don't know anything. Let me know if you know anything.
Seems like Drewski's just saying what all of us are thinking.
Do you think Trump believes in God? Well, Trump definitely believes in the supernatural. There's no question about that. I know that. Does he believe in the Christian God? No. But he certainly is not a secular person at all. He definitely believes. He believes. Everyone believes, by the way. Everybody, whether they know it or not. But Trump consciously believes. And as to the Bible question, I never, I spent over a year not saying anything about that. But I was sitting right there. I mean, I was right in front of him at the inauguration, which was very small. It was indoors, sitting next to some relatives of his. Anyway, and I saw it. And Melania was there with the Bible. And no one said anything, but I just noticed it. I was like, and she was sitting right there, and he intentionally didn't. And by the way, it's an inaugural swearing in. Like, everyone knows the rules. Like, the protocol is, put your hand on the Bible. He did it the first time. And I was really bothered by it. And he didn't put his hand on the Bible. So the only point I made was, if you didn't care, if you didn't think it was real, like, why would you not put your hand on the Bible? It's just a book. It doesn't have any power. It doesn't mean anything. It's like some superstition that desert people believed in 2,000 years ago. It's like, it's immaterial.
Prison Life of Ghislaine Maxwell. She looks like she's going through it, guys. well deserved. It looks like that video was fast forwarded through about an hour. She probably burned maybe a few thousand calories doing all that walking. She could potentially give us some of these bigger guys, but after we get everybody and round everybody up, I don't know. What do you guys think we should do with her?
I very intentionally do not have my technology patented.
Why? What?
Because the patent industry is actually very corrupt. I learned this because one day I went to a Rotary Club meeting and I spoke with the inventor of the wireless key fob for cars. And he told me GM stole my stuff. And I said, well, you have a patent, didn't you? And he's like, yo, I have like 70 patents. I'm like, so how'd they steal your stuff with the patent? He's like, because a patent doesn't mean anything to big players. All a patent is a means for you to go to court and say, hey, they infringed on my patent. But when you're in court, that's a whole different story. Now you need to fight their lawyers. And you're fighting this big industry that has billions of dollars, and they can just go to court over and over and over again and take you and fight you and fight you and fight you until you have no money left. And they have the funds to do that. You don't, because you're not GM. You're not whoever. So even though you know they stole your thing, you can't prove it anymore.
Protect this man at all costs.
USA will play Bosnia next Wednesday. And one thing about Bosnia, I could not point out where it is on a map. I don't know the first thing about Bosnia, and I don't want to know. That's because Team USA, we're back, we're better than ever. That's next Wednesday. Get prepared, Bosnia, because you don't want it. You don't want it like that. But you're going to get it. That's next Wednesday. We're now reporting live in Long Beach. Abigail Velez.
I don't see the problem with what she said, but as a news anchor, you probably got to keep a pretty neutral stance.
My father acquired all the Bigfoot in my possession in September of 1953.
Is this real?
They've been kept in freezers. They're very dried out. There's 9 in total. However, there's 3 that are intact. There's 5 that are in pieces, but all the pieces are there. And then there's 1 where there's a head, arms, and legs, but the torso is missing. This is all the physical proof that we have of Bigfoot.
This can't be real, guys.
I'm very careful about who gets close to these. Yes, they have been tested. I acquired them while goose hunting.
America, we need to do better.
Y'all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. And someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30-some years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age.
Now let's focus on Dick Scobie for a second, whose full name at the time of the Challenger mission is actually Francis Richard Scobie. If you don't know, Dick is short for Richard, but we'll get to that. Francis Richard Scobie would be around 75 years old if he were alive today. Now this man, Richard or Dick Scobie, is alive today, and also is currently the age that Francis Scobie would be. Now if you were to show someone these 2 photos side by side, they would unquestionably believe that it is the same person, right? I mean, just look at the brow, look at the eyes, look at the nose, look at the little gap in the teeth even. Now, Dick Scobie today currently runs an advertising company called Cows and Trees, and this is their logo. Kind of an interesting choice, wouldn't you agree? As of course, many people are making this comparison.
My God. There's been an explosion.
3,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Now, entertaining the possibility that this is some kind of conspiracy, I'm sure back then they didn't really think that the internet would be around today where people could do this kind of research. So of course they're trying to silence this, as when you try and Google it, you don't get many results. And if you speak out, you get silenced.
I'm gonna have to stop. Sir, this is a public comment. I have a direct request that, will you let me finish for at least 10 seconds? No, sir, you're finished. Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today.
In California are planning to sue Fanimecon after getting lung infections from drinking foot juice sold by female cosplayers.
Disgusting.
Happened during FanimeCon 2000.
Check this out. Someone just open sourced a software that lets you see through Wi-Fi signals. No cameras, no infrared, just pure radio waves. It's an open source project, meaning anyone can get it, called RuView, and it was just published on GitHub. It literally turns standard everyday Wi-Fi signals into a low-cost radar system. It uses AI models to analyze something called channel state information. You see, every time a Wi-Fi signal bounces around a room, your body subtly changes those signals because humans are mostly made of water. The AI studies these tiny disturbances and translates them into real-time 3D mapping, meaning they know exactly where you're standing and what you're doing. But it gets even crazier than that. The software doesn't just track your movement. The AI can actually isolate the rhythmic movement of your chest and read your breathing rate and track your heart rate from anywhere. It could be an incredible tool for things like elderly care and search and rescue, but it also means our physical privacy is entirely up for grabs. Would you trust this technology to be in?
Would you guys trust this technology? And I have a question. How do we know if this isn't being done to us right now? Scary times, guys. God bless America, but we make mistakes too. Alright YouTube, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 4. Episode 5 on the way. If you guys haven't joined the team already by now, I don't know what you're doing, but there'll be more videos to come and there'll be a lot more chances. So like always, stay curious and question everything. This is Around the Web, and I'll see you next time.
Watch your bitch.
Bitch gets restless. Calm the bitch down.